Hey there, apprentices! I'm Metasolaray, the highest ranked Udyr OTP in North America, currently sitting in Challenger. And I'm here today to demonstrate the meteor build style, a build style used by other Udyr OTPs at high elo that brings out the bruiser strengths in Udyr that so many other builds fail to even touch on. Today, we'll be touching upon this build to show you my tips, tricks, and secrets that I use to climb to Challenger so that you can climb to your next rank. As for me, I'm an Udyr OTP that's driven by competition, and the competition is myself. I want to be better than I was yesterday, driving myself to improve from my mistakes, so that way you guys can learn from my mistakes and improve even faster. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Today, we're going to be going over 5 key aspects of the meteor build. Firstly, we'll be going over the runes, item builds, and Smite upgrades that you're going to want to run with this build. These are the core foundations that define this build and are the things that you need to be successful. Secondly, we're going to be going over the application, playstyle, and uses. This is how the builds are tended to play, because most Udyrs are going to be the ones that run that warrior triforce combination. This build does require a different mindset, so I'm going to make sure that you have the tools you need in that aspect. Now, this is the first part of a multi-part guide. So what I'm going to need you to do is make sure you hit that subscribe button, as well as that little bell, ding ding ding, to be notified when the next video comes out. If you're looking for more information about Udyr, we have a banging, amazingly done MOBA Fire guide. And if you're interested in more Udyr information from myself, make sure you go down below and hit the link in the description. Alright, from there, well, let's go ahead and get started and just give you all that information you're dying for. Now, with the meteor build, every rune in the primary tree is picked for its purpose. You're not going to want to drift away from these. I run these runes for the main purpose of getting this build to run perfectly. Now, unfortunately, I have changed this, so we're going to be building this setup together. Firstly, we have Conqueror. Now, Conqueror is the key aspect of this rune set. What it does is it allows you to sustain in team fights, be a threat to the front line, the targets you're going after, and most importantly, it provides you a significant amount of AD. While the Adaptive Force is a nerf version of its original form, that version was broken, so yeah. This version provides you AD, sustain, which the old version didn't, as well as the true damage. Secondly, the rune you're going to want to take afterwards is going to be Triumph. Now, this build builds a significant portion of HP. As the build gets stronger as you get weaker, Triumph is going to help you heal back up, sustain through early team fights, and most importantly, it's free gold. And who doesn't like free money? I love free money. I mean, hey, if it's free, take it. Third, we're going to go ahead and grab Legend Tenacity. Now, one of the biggest weaknesses to Udyr for me is CC. Lulu polymorphs, Zax, everything, his slows, well, unfortunately his knockbacks you can't do anything about, and Rammus taunts. Now, that CC, the more we can reduce it, the better off we are. So we're going to grab Legend Tenacity almost 9 times out of 10. You can make an argument, however, if you're looking for Legend Alacrity, if you're against a team that has all knockbacks, knockups, are all Master Yi's and Yasuo's, because if they have no CC you can reduce, there's no point to run this rune. But in your average game, you're going to have a significant amount of stuns, slows, snares. Make sure you're running Legend Tenacity. For this build, the only rune I want to take in this last tree is Last Stand. Last Stand gives me more damage as I go lower in my health. With the amount of health I'm building, with Conqueror and Wit's End, you're going to be fighting bruisers, frontline, ADCs, mages, and just taking in all this damage. You're not about bursting champions down like I said. You're about sustaining through a fight at lower health and constantly healing yourself back up. When you're at low health, Last Stand is the rune that's going to give you the most power to fight back, stay alive, and most importantly, kick some serious tail. If you decide you want to play a little bit more as a burster, you can go to coup de grace, but however, I don't recommend it, and for this build, we're looking for the power of a frontline bruiser Udyr. So Last Stand is exactly what you need. Now, there has been a time where we have had our teammates who are just dying to ganks over and over again, because they don't have wards, they don't have vision, they just get caught by everything. Now, unfortunately, Riot also limited the amount of wards we can buy for them. That was until they gave us a new tool that could help you be more successful in your ganks and also help your teammates avoid death. And that rune, my friends, is the Domination Tree and Zombie Wards. Now, Zombie Ward is the rune I almost absolutely recommend for this build because it gives you a 2-minute zombie ward for any ward you kill. This will both incentivize you to get an early sweeper, since if you don't get a sweeper, you're going to fall behind on the AD you can gather with this rune. But most importantly, it's going to teach you to be more proactive about clearing vision, securing vision for your team, and for every ward you kill off, you're able to go ahead and give a 2-minute ward to your team. Therefore, you're literally going to be warding for your allies and will even outscore in vision your own support. I've done it in countless games. Now, you may say, nobody wards at my elo. What rune should I take? Now, I don't recommend eyeball collection because here's the simple truth. By the time you've been part of 10 takedowns, it's either a late game or you're snowballing so hard that the little bit of extra AD is not going to be helpful. I want to give you guys the consistent tools that you need to win, not another, look how amazing I am, 5v5, 1v5 Udyr build. I'm looking to give you the tools to success. So, if you have no one warding in your elo, then you're going to want to take Ghost Coral. Again, a consistent rune that enhances your team's vision, incentivizes good warding, safe warding to avoid getting your own ward swept, so you can continue stacking that AD. Now, for your last rune, you're going to want to go ahead and secure a rune that enhances your sustain. No rune in the Domination Tree does that any better than, not Taste of Blood, Ravenous Hunter. While Udyr only has one damaging ability, he gets a lot of healing from that rune, and that is where you're going to want to take Tiger Stance with Ravenous Hunter. Now, Ravenous Hunter sustains you throughout the early game. Get into a good early 5v5 invade, congratulations, you pick 1, 2, even 3 kill participation, and you have an amazing amount of sustain in the jungle. That sustain can mean the difference between getting first blood or getting first blooded, as well as giving double buffs to an enemy laner, causing your own team to tilt. Ravenous Hunter continues to scale from the early game to the mid to late game by giving you more sustain while you're trying to fight through a Bramble Vest, Grievous Wounds, and various forms of AD, AP, and CC. When it comes to sustain, you're looking for the best bang for your buck, and Ravenous Hunter is it. So next, we're going to actually be talking about the Smite upgrades I want to take in every one of my games. Now, you could look into my match history, but that's not going to give you the information you need. So what I'm going to do instead for you is go ahead and go over that information myself. Alright, now we're at the final choice for the early game jungler, the Smite. Now, Udyr has 2 choices of Smite. The blue Smite, Chilling Smite, or the Skirmisher Smite, the red Smite. Now, the Smite usually, for most Udyrs, has been blue Smite. Udyr lacks mobility, and he's a champion that simply needs to catch his target, pin them down, and maul them to death. However, for my build, you're going to actually be going for the red Smite. The main reason for this is twofold. Number one, this build excels at skirmishing, dueling, and holding onto tanky targets and just beating them down to death, regardless how tanky or how strong they are. With Blue Smite, you lack the damage reduction, the true damage dot, as well as the pure amount of utility it provides for surviving even to assassins such as Katarina or Kha'Zix, as it will reduce their damage regardless should you have resistances for them. Now, when you are in a game, there are going to be games where you're going to still want Blue Smite if you're going this build. If you are going the Meteor build, and there are 3 to 4 people such as Lucian, Ezreal, Cassiopeia, Anivia, or other champions who are going to be able to peel you off, and there's really no one in the front line for you to duel, then yes, you're going to want to go ahead and take the Chilling Smite for those gank opportunities. However, if you're going for a generalized build that is focused on picking off squishy targets, I personally recommend a PTA build, which I can go over in another video, so make sure, yet again, that you're subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on that video, so you have even more options for your next build. Now, we are going to the meat and the core aspects of the meteor build. Now, with this build, we're looking for items that are going to enhance tankiness, still provide damage, and best of all, if it can provide more utility, we want that too. So right here, we have the meteor essentials. These are the items you want to go in most of your games. First off, you want the enchantment Cinderhulk. Now, I know a lot of you, this is going to be a bit of a tough sell. Why would I want to get Cinderhulk when Tiger Stance has a 1.8 AD ratio over Warrior Enchant? Here is the two reasons I take Cinderhulk in every game. Staying alive with Conqueror means you need to be able to last long enough in a team fight. Cinderhulk provides you the health you need to sustain through, but most importantly, it also provides Tiger Stance Udyr with AoE clear in the jungle. Ever since the buff to give you 3 times the bonus damage to minions and monsters, this means you can split push with Cinderhulk, you can wave clear efficiently in your jungle with Cinderhulk. It gives you all the strength of Phoenix Dance without the waste of a skill point in the early game. Oftentimes, I will either prioritize getting Skirmisher Saber if I'm going to be dueling a champions. However, if I'm going to be, farming jungle camps, there's no gank opportunities for me, then what I'll actually do is get the Balmy Cinder of the build. The Balmy Cinder still gives you not as much wave clear, jungle clear in this aspect. We're not laners, unfortunately. The jungle clear is just as efficient with Balmy Cinder, not as well as Cinderhulk, but it still gives you a little bit of AoE clear to assist you with the speed. However, as Udyr, you're going to run through mana very quickly, so try to make sure you get Talisman and the Balmy Cinder if possible. Next, we have the boots. Now, the boots are going to be very situational. Oftentimes, it breaks down to these two aspects. Either Ninja Tabbies for AD champions and on hits, such as, cannons such as champions who are going to provide a lot of physical damage threats, such as Yasuo, Zed, Riven, even Pike. A little bit of armor can be the difference between your life and the afterlife. Now, the other option is, and this is the one I tend to let go the most often, is Mercury Treads, because it provides even more tenacity. Now, while we do get Legend Tenacity, getting that 51% sweet spot of tenacity makes you almost immune to CC right from the get-go. Secondly, against a lot of the threats, such as Sejuani, Elise, and other champions who do percentile magic damage, this item will give you a way to reduce that damage till you get to your wit's end. Now, this one's going to be a bit of a tough sell, because if you look at any Udyr guide from anybody in the last 2 years, you're going to see one item above all else: Triforce. Triforce, 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 Triforce. It scales well with Udyr's kit. It provides a sheen effect. It gives him attack speed, mana, AD, mobility. It gives you so much. But this build does not take that at all, because Sterak's Gauge is the superior choice that provides you so much more. Firstly, Triforce only gives you 250 HP. This item gives you 450 right out of the gate. And since we have Cinderhulk purchased, it actually amplifies even more, give you even more health than before. Secondly, the biggest aspect is the passive Lifeline. Now, Lifeline gives you a huge 600 plus shield by the time you purchase Sterak's Gauge. That is over about, let's say, 2 Giant Belts worth of health, a little bit under 2 Giant Belts worth of health. This makes you unbelievably tanky in the mid game. Now, it is also 500 gold cheaper than Triforce, so you're going to hit your power spike quicker, easier, and most importantly, when you hit this Sterak's Gauge spike, you're going to not die in team fights. So you're going to have your Conqueror running, your AoE Cinderhulk is going to be burning for true damage, so you're healing from your true damage, you're also just unbelievably tanky, and when you drop your health down to the threshold, you're going to hit right back up with a 600 shield. And remember, to burst your health down that low, you know what else is activating? Last Stand. Your Last Stand kicks in, give you even more damage. Pretty much everything's being a triple threat, feeding into another part of my build. Now, I'll be honest, not having attack speed sucks on Udyr. Just a little bit more is all you ever need just to be really efficient. So I wanted an item that gave me the attack speed I wanted, but still provided me defenses such as Sterak's Gauge did. And then Riot reworked Wit's End. Now, new Wit's End is a bit more expensive than the old one, providing 50% attack speed, a big chunk of magic resist, and even some additional movement speed, which is nice. Not needed, but it's nice. But most importantly is the new passive at Wit's End. When you fall below 50% of your HP, you're going to actually start healing for the magic damage it deals. And since you get this item, often as a third item, not including your boots, this is when you're going to be about level 13, 14, around there, and you are going to do a significant amount of magic damage. This magic damage is going to heal you below your 50%, and most importantly, that magic damage is going to get converted to true damage thanks to Conqueror, which is going to heal you off of that damage as well. You are going to double dip, making sure you get all of the healing you need to heal even more and sustain more throughout team fights. Thanks to the increased attack speed, you're going to quickly stack up Conqueror even faster. So your Cinderhulk is doing more damage, and again, Last Stand is going to activate when Wit's End is at its strongest. So you're healing, dealing a lot of damage, and you're going to shred through enemies. Now, understand that the most common form of percentile damage in this game is magic damage. So, Sejuani's, Muumuus, and champions of that nature who have that percent magic damage, no longer a problem. You're going to want to rush the Negatron Cloak aspect of this build and then just go straight through, cutting through them with the Stairskate Shield, so that way you're protecting all that bulky health. And lastly, as I mentioned before, I personally like starting Oracle Lens every game since I'm running Zombie Ward. However, if you're not running Zombie Ward, or if you're really concerned about a level 1 invade, you can start with the regular yellow trinket, but I do advise sweeping over to the red trinket. Now, please understand that this build, the Meteor Essentials, is a standardized build. However, it is not a build you can take into every single game, and you must be able to be flexible and adapt. For example, if you're against a full AD team, Wit's End may not be an item you want to go. Or, let's say you're against a full magic damage team. Instead of getting Sterix Gauge, you may want to switch over and get your Wit's End first. These are the kind of options that you need to be aware of and understand how to adapt to each game. If you have any comments or questions saying, you want to know what these options are, just comment down below and I'll be glad to get with you as quickly as possible to give you that information. Now, when you get your core items, or if you're in a situation where the Meteor Essentials are not exactly a great fit for your game, then you're looking for your situational build items. Now, these are the items I personally recommend that I think are really good on Udyr, and yes, if I could, I would double down on Wit's End, but unfortunately Riot made it a unique passive. Oh well, you gotta make do with what you can, right? Now, personally, I don't generally go Black Cleaver or Triforce. This build has a lot of damage already. However, if you're 10-0 and you have your Sterix Gauge, your Wit's End completed, and you just need a little bit more carry damage, Triforce is your best bet. If there's a lot of tank champions on the enemy team, then you're going to want to take the Black Cleaver. Now, Black Cleaver will provide you a significant amount of armor penetration and the phage passive, more health, cooldown reduction, but I think it will give you a little bit too much health, if you know what I mean. Not the best thing in mind. Me personally, I'm going these items. Randuin's Omen against ADCs like Caitlyn, Yasuo, Tryndamere, who have that crit damage amplified. This brings down their 225% from IE down to 205. Very good on your end, more survivability. And I have made so many picks with the Randuin's active, slowing down movement speed. Trust me, this item is a lot more useful if you are able to plan around that at slow and be the engage your team needs. Now, if you're against someone who's building a Blade of the Ruined King, or you're against Hecarim or anyone else who sustains through damage such as Warwick or Aatrox, make sure you grab a Bramble Vest, turn that into a Thornmail. I don't care if there's a Tryndamere on the enemy team, grab that Bramble Vest, get your Randuins, get a Thornmail as well. While you do have the Cold Steel passive shared between the two, if you're in that situation where there's double AD threats, make sure to negate both of them. Righteous Glory is the best item as a situational build if you need to be the engage for your team. If you find your team is lacking engage, Righteous Glory makes you a Persuado tank to engage a team fight with. Cooldown reduction, which is, as you guys noticed, this build lacks a lot of. It's also going to be very helpful. However, the low armor on it kind of makes me avoid it if possible. Personally, I like items such as this if I need to be in engage, such as Dead Man's Plate. It provides more health, more armor, and the passive that lets me run around really fast and E at people all day, every day. When I'm carrying and I'm in a position of strength, Deadman's is the tank item I go. Now, against AP threats, pretty much Adaptive Helm is the one you go against. Cassiopeias, Rise, Singed, Teemos. That's pretty much it. If I have a preference, though, I'm going to take Spirit Visage. As you guys can tell, this build's all about the sustain job. So I want an item that's going to give me the even more healing. And hey, cooldown reduction never hurt anyone. Well, except the enemy, but we don't care about them. Now, Iceborne Gauntlet is a bit of a tricky one. I go this item, if the enemy team is full AD, I'll go this over Wit's End. Or, if I have an Ornn on my team, I'll go Iceborne Gauntlet as well. Because, unfortunately, the core 3 items, Stairs Gauge, Wit's End, and Cinderhulk, have nothing for Ornn to amplify off of with his passive, the Forge Master, or whatever it's called. Iceborne Gauntlet, however, does have an increase that gives you a massive amount of armor. So, if you have an Ornn on your team, you're going to want to get Iceborne Gauntlet. However, there's been those games, and I don't care who you are, it's happened. You had an ADC on your team who, they actually won their lane. They're 10-0, they're Vayne, they're Jinx, they're blowing the hell up. You need to protect them, and nothing says protection like these 3 items. Locker of the Iron Solari takes all the health in this build that you've been purchasing and makes it a massive shield for your team. Especially if you have a support like a Soraka or a Sona, grabbing this, it lets you support your entire team. The Zed, not a problem. Akali, who cares? Zed, welcome to the shield, and a bear stun to the face. You got it right now. But, okay, you need even more protection for that Jinx? Get the Knight's Vow. 60 armor when you're next to her, 250 health, again, feeding into your Stairs Gauge and your Cinderhulk. But most importantly, the damage you take away from your ADC is amplified from them to you, and honestly, with this build, you're healing and you can take it back in turn. But most importantly, you heal for the damage they deal. Your fed ADC is healing you, and should you get a Spirit Visage, healing you even more. And as you're falling lower, you're healing back up from your ADC and your own damage. And I call that a double down win. Now, this is an item I'm sure a lot of you don't know. Zeke's Herald works on Udyr's Phoenix Dance. His R counts as the ultimate activation. So as long as you have a single point in Phoenix Dance, you can activate Zeke's Convergent anytime between its 45-second cooldown, as often as you want, whenever you want. And trust me, this item gets a lot of people off guard, because now you not only have the increased damage on your ADC or any other AD on your team, such as Yasuo, but you also have a big AoE slow field that you're going to be absolutely shredding through them, because you have Conqueror, Wit's End, Cinderhulk, Stairs Gauge, and now you're on fire. By all means, run down to your enemy with this item. Beyond that, guys, any other item you guys consider, if you have any thoughts or questions, like I said before, comments below, and I'll be glad to answer any specific questions you may have. Unfortunately, my good friend, my good apprentice, you have reached the end of the guide. Or at least this part anyways. Unfortunately, this is the end. The bitter end. The bittersweet end. But I do promise there is more content coming out. So make sure you're still going to stick around. It's here, I promise. It's right here off screen. Like, I can see it. Look, see? There, it's there. You have to take my word for it. It exists, like my wife. Oh, honey. But it's there. And it'll be coming out to you shortly. Now, if you're looking for more information or guide content to support Udyr and myself and my wife, make sure, on a serious side, you're hitting that Mobifier guide in the description below, where I will give you even more information that will help you become the best Udyr you can be. Because, honestly, I am driven by constantly being better, and I want you to aim for that same success. So, stick around, apprentices. We have more content in the future for you to help you to hit the rift with the champion with the skin that we'll never ever see again, because we have to pay for our own visual update. Till next time, apprentices, you should sub and make sure to hit that like button to brighten up our day.
Don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any future uploads. You can also click near me for YouTube suggestions.
Or you can click near me for more meteor content.
They come around for me.
Till next time, apprentices, chowder!